We play and call it work.
Hello there, Wargamers, and welcome to our first impressions of what is officially the first Battletomes for Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. And of course, it's going to be Stormcast Eternals and a random enemy.
Orruk Warclan.
It's the Orruk Warclans. So without a doubt, it's going to be Stormcast Eternal. I guess everyone already knew the books were coming out.
True.
Now, technically, the Soulblight Gravelords have a similar design and layout-ish, but not an official 3rd edition book, because it is missing a lot of the content that these books are missing.
Luka did point out about an hour ago, just that crisp Games Workshop red and
No,
yellow.
it's that red fantasy look, man. I love it. I love to see it. Now, these books pretty much got everything you wanted inside of them, including Path to Glory rules, which are pretty extensive. So we decided we were going to make a separate video of them for our Vault members who support us, and to give you insight about what Path to Glory is and what it's going to look like going forward. So if you want to check that out, please click on the link down below. The Vault members are what help sustain us and allow us to do content like
Honestly,
this for you guys.
if you don't want to be a Vault member, you can just sign up for a 7-day free trial, watch that video, and then you can cancel if you want.
Right. We're going to go into as much details as we possibly can, I guess, about the Path to Glory. And I feel like that is an important aspect of Age of Sigmar because it has been missing that narrative hook for a very long time. The best way just to get your average player in who doesn't want to make this massive campaign writing and all that is easy. Here's the rules. Play your army. Boom. This is what happens when you play a game. This is what you do after a game. This is how you guys level up. Here's how you're
It's a fantastic way to get into the game.
Exactly. It's a perfect way to get in the game. Buy a small collection, level up your guys, learn the rules slowly, master your army. Right? That's the whole idea there. So we're going to be starting with the Stormcast Eternals in this one here, and we're going to be doing mostly the Cruel Boys, honestly, because they got the most changes. But Orruk Warclans later on in the video, you can just click the timestamp, check that out. It'll be where the timestamps are down below.
If you want to skip Stormcast, go right to Orruk's. That's cool.
Yeah, we're going to be going not over every little detail here because there are a lot of minor changes that aren't very important. Like certain War Scrolls don't do this anymore; they do that instead.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about the allegiance abilities and overall the layout of the book.
And honestly, there's no way we caught all the minor changes because we've had this book for I think just over 2 hours. This book just came in. If you haven't covered everything, but I do want to point something. If people are clicking on this video, they have a question they want to answer. They think they'll answer. Are there battle tactics and grand strategies for these armies now?
Yes.
There is.
Yes. So great additions for both match play and narrative play. Yeah. Games Workshop knocked out of the park with these books. I think the layout's amazing, and everything they included was everything people were hoping for.
I believe so.
Actually, a couple of things actually surprised me too, like the core battalion ones too, but those are a little weird anyways.
Yeah.
They're whatever, those are iffy. Like they're not really needed, but they're there anyways. But I don't think people, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people won't use them that much.
Well, we don't play narrative.
Right.
But do you still play narrative? Comment below. Because your battalions are in here.
The War Scroll battalions specifically, yeah. So you got new War Scroll battalions you got Cruel Boy War Scroll battalions, but those are only useful in narrative play. And I maybe a lot of you do play match play rules, but they allow War Scroll battalions.
That's fair. No, we typically don't.
We don't do that because
there's nothing wrong, nothing against it.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
I also want to say for the Path to Glory stuff, if you check that out, we're going to go into details about how you could include some of those rules for your Battletomes that aren't necessarily going to be released anytime soon. Just to give you an idea of how to maybe manipulate it and make your own rules for that. Anyways, we have our allegiance abilities for the Stormcast Eternals. It's what you'd expect. You have your Storm Hosts. There's all 8 of them here still. Those have fundamentally changed. And we'll go over that in a minute. I believe you have 9 technically.
Technically 9, but we'll explain why later.
Yeah. So with this one, you choose one way to build your force, and any of the Storm Hosts can fit in one of these 2 builds. You're either defending the Mortal Realms, so you're a Stormkeep army, or you're arriving from the heavens in glorious lightning, so you are a Scion of the Storm. Now, if you choose to be a Scion of the Storm, you get the following rule, Scion of the Storms. It's the exact same rules you had before, where you would put, every time you deploy a unit on the table, you can deploy one in the heavens, and it'll arrive as reinforcements later in the game, on turn 1, 2, or 3, whichever one you want. They just show up, more than 9 away from an enemy, and you can bring all of them on turn 1 if you want to. So this is an ability you're all familiar with already. Now they don't have the shock and all rule associated with that anymore. That's actually been built into a command trait now, which is fine. It pretty much says if your general's on the table and you are a Scion on the Storm and you arrive, you're negative 1 to hit. Right.
Okay.
So it's the exact.
You can get it if you want.
It's the exact same thing as you had before. It's just not built. It's not baked into the command ability. You have to take a command trait now, which that is actually kind of bad, but whatever, it is what it is. Now, what I will say is the more interesting one, because it's a lot newer, is the Stormkeep army, the other option. You have 2 rules associated with this one instead of just the one. Mortal Auxiliaries, it's a minor rule, but it's a cool rule. It's a great way to throw allies in your army, and I'd like to see this going forward. This is a coalition rule for Cities of Sigmar. So for for a 1-to-4 ratio, you can include a Cities of Sigmar unit in your Stormcast Eternals army, and they gain the Stormkeep keyword wherever that's relevant. And they will add one of their bravery characteristic if they're wholly within 12 of a Stormkeep Redeemer unit. And Redeemers for the Stormcast Eternals are your basic battle lines, your Vindicators, your Liberators, and the Sequitors, the wizard guys.
So you can pick either guys that can basically deep strike or teleport in, or have human allies.
Or have human allies, yeah.
Or Cities of Sigmar allies, because it'd be dwarves or elves too, I guess, right?
Yeah, you could be elves or dwarves. You're
okay.
Right. Yeah, I always think of they're humans, though, for some reason. I never think of the elves or the dwarven aspect of it, even though, like, Phoenix Guard are amazing.
Yeah, jeez, we haven't seen them in a while.
But the second rule associated with this one, a little more intensive here, but I think very good rule. It's called the Shield of Civilization. Now, your Redeemer units, again, your basic battle lines, in the first 2 battle rounds of the game are going to count as 3 models instead of 1 while counting objective control. Only for objectives wholly within your territory. So that won't always be relevant. There are a lot of match play scenarios, or heck, even narrative scenarios that don't have any in your territory. So that part of the rule might not come up. But it's,
wait, is this wholly within your territory?
Really good. Wholly within your territory, yeah.
Because a lot of them are on the border.
Partially. You got
okay.
It there, partially. Sorry, I thought you're right. That was a good question. So it's partially or wholly, which is that's a lot more flexible. That's good. Now, there's actually 3 parts to this rule here. The second part of this rule is on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle rounds of the game. That rule applies to all objectives on the table.
I like that.
That's amazing.
That's a new thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing is you can't like deep strike your Redeemers on the later objectives because that's part of the other. That's the other allegiance. So you have to actually make your way there with your feats. It's a little bit hard.
With your feet?
With your feet.
So I'm going to compare this to like the Seraphim, where they can be coalesced or starborn.
100%, that's what
we have
That's
here.
what we have here,
So
yeah.
two different factions, or two different locations your armies are from.
Exactly, yeah, because the coalesced are supposed to actually be physical representations of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly that.
Okay, I dig this. This is cool.
That's exactly what's going on here. Now, the third part of this rule always applies. It's a great rule, by the way. When your Redeemers are charged by an enemy, and those Redeemers that were charged are within 6 inches of an objective that you already control, well, the charging enemy unit will suffer D3 mortal wounds on a 3+. It might not always work, but it's just awesome. So all your Redeemers have those big, thick shields. They kind of just shield bash their enemy as they come in, or they hold firm, and the enemy takes damage as they charge in. It's a very defensive build. The idea is to hold objectives. That's all that matters, and don't die. Now, on top of this, the third allegiance, technically the third allegiance ability, the Blaze of Glory. You guys got this in the Dominion box. This is the rule that when your Stormcast Eternal models are slain and they're within 1 inch of an enemy, you pick an enemy within 1 inch, and then you roll a d6, 1d6 equal to the wound characteristic of the slain model, and then that enemy unit will suffer a mortal wound on a 6-up. So they're slain, they're cast down, the enemy looks over them and says, "Ha, you dead." But it turns out, no, you're going to become lightning and go get reforged, and you get zapped a little bit, and you take a mortal wound. That's the idea here. And the Thunderstrike keyword did keep the +1 of that roll, so it's a 5-up. And that's all the Dominion stuff. So my opinion, the best looking models. I think they did an excellent job with the Dominion stuff. The Thunderstrike, they're all very like fine.
He said the best looking models.
What'd I say?
You said the best looking models.
The best looking models.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did it sound like I started my words into something else? Oh,
Okay.
yikes. Yikes. Okay. The best looking models. They did an excellent job. I was never really a fan of the
I'm not even like I
before.
100% agree with you on that.
Right.
We were talking about this. We keep calling the Hoplites the Vindicators.
The Vindicators.
The Vindicators are
gosh.
so beautiful that we both.
I'm starting an army like immediately.
Like
100%.
that's insane. We are both willing to do Stormcast armies because of just those models.
I've never really liked the I've played them just to get some representation on the table. I've never really liked their aesthetic. I thought they were too bulky. They were too big.
too chunky. They
were like too physically big.
These Vindicators look live, like they can move into. Yeah.
Exactly. They look like you'd imagine how they fight. They're quick. They outmaneuver their opponents. Their martial prowesses. For whatever reason, just the look in the model, it does all that for me. I don't know why, but it works.
Right, let's focus on the book.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's what you get. You're playing Stormcast Eternals. Pretty basic allegiance abilities. There's no real tricks there other than deep striking half your army, I suppose.
But you have 8 storm hosts.
8 storm hosts.
Now they changed the way these work. I can't remember how they were for Stormcast.
But
they were like everybody
100%.
else's.
Exactly.
So you used to have to, like, if you were from Stormhost X, you have to have the first model must be given this relic and this command trait.
Right.
That's gone.
That's completely gone. It's very
no more
nice
restrictions.
There's no more restrictions and no more overcomplicated things with like meh command abilities that you might use every now and then.
Right.
Less things to remember, which is nice. So we have 8 of them here. I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples, or else we're going to be here all day. We'll start with the basic one, Hammers of Sigmar, because that's the main one, I think.
Golden blue?
The golden blue guys, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the one on the cover art. That's the one in all the pictures. They have We Cannot Fail. It's the same name as it was before. And it actually kind of works the same way as well. Friendly Hammers of Sigmar units, wholly within 12 of an objective marker, will have a ward save of 6+.
Okay.
Basic. I love it. I love it though. It used to be
that's their thing.
That's it. There's no relic. There's no command trait. There's no art. I already said relic. There's no command ability, which was they used to come back. All of that is still in this book in one way or another, but elsewhere.
I know there's 8 of them. I'm not gonna go over them all. Give me which one was your favorite?
Helden Hammer, because I want to paint them.
Wait, is that because they're black and gold, and that's you like the color?
They're black, gold, and red.
But yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I thought them on the Dominion models, my jaw dropped. They have Deathly Aura, so at the end of each player's charge phase, you can roll a pair of d6 for each enemy unit within 1 inch of one of your Helden Hammer units, any of them, doesn't have to be a Redeemer. If the roll is greater than that enemy's unit's bravery characteristic, the first 2 wounds caused by attacks made by that enemy unit in the following combat phase are negated.
So I'm just never going to play my Beast of Chaos against your Helden Hammer.
No. You don't want to do that. That's rough. Any Destruction Army typically has very low bravery.
Which is kind of cool. I like that.
The Deathly Aura, they're kind of the spooky ones. They're scary. They use their fearsome aura to unnerve their foe.
Are they from the realm of death by chance? Like, no joke. Are they from the realm of death?
I don't know.
Lore? That's fair.
They're heroes from ages long past, summoned from their tombs by the God King and remade as warriors eternal. They fight as an ordered military machine.
We'll just say yes.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm sure some of them are from the realm of death, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Maybe some of them. Then that's an example of what you're going to get. Each one of these has a unique useful rule.
That's a very positive change. I dig that.
It gives you a rule to focus on and a way to build your army. Like an example, Hammers of Sigmar. You probably wouldn't bring Sequitors, even though they're pretty good, because Sequitors have changed their thing to have a 5 aboard save, which won't stack with a 6 aboard save.
Right.
So now you can bring like Liberators as Hammers of Sigmar or Vindicators, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's still worth to bring Sequitors. They seem really good.
Now, did you read one of them that I'm just never gonna play this one? Not really.
Some are like certainly suspicious, but they're not that bad. Like Astral Templars, they're the Beast Stalkers. Your units cannot be picked when your opponent carries out monsters rampages.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible, but you have Hunters of the Heartland for that, right? So you might not need it, but then you could argue like, well, you don't need to do Hunters of the Heartland.
That's all your units, right?
That's your whole army, that's right. So not just your troops. Oh, okay, that's true. I didn't even consider that. Your monsters, yeah. So you have like a Star Drake as an Astral Templar.
That's the thing. Here's the thing. And most of you understand this. This is first impressions. It is impossible to catch every possible combo.
Absolutely.
Like to be fair, I'm gonna give this a little talk about 40K for 2 seconds. Luke and I both reviewed the Orruk book together.
Right.
We're like, okay, it's not wow. It's kind of like solid stats and this goes forward. But then we just saw a few more things after playing games, and we haven't played the games yet to see everything. So you can't catch everything. But yeah, there you go. Like they're definitely gonna be combos we're not gonna think of.
I think, and I will. Looking over some of these while you were just saying that, I'm like, no, that's good. That's good. These are they did a great job.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. The Hammers of Sigmar, they hold objectives. That's their thing, right? Easily done.
Whichever style you want to play, you can find something to go.
Exactly.
Or you just go by the color and run with it.
Exactly. If you've already painted up Celestial Warbringers, well, once per phase, you can reroll 1 hit roll and 1 wound roll for an attack made by a friendly one.
Oh, that's not bad.
Or 1 save roll for an attack that targets them.
Wait, that's not bad.
That's super good.
What the heck?
That's really good. Like that's once per phase. That's literally once per phase for each of your units.
Is that Death Skulls on?
It's Fearless Foresight. They have the.
They see it. Okay.
They see it coming, yeah.
Okay, cool. You know what? So I like what they do with their Storm Host.
And like, so what that means for you as a Stormcast Eternal player, you actually get to pick artifacts you want to use. Right. You get to pick. I guess actually just and command traits. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of command traits.
I just want to ask you a question before you do that.
Yes.
So, we'll go over the Orc stuff, but my stuff is split up by artifacts and command traits for Bone Splitters, Iron Jaws, and whatnot. Are you like that?
No, because I don't have anything like that. Because
but you have 2 factions where you have Storm Hosts and
you have the Scions and the Stormkeepers.
Yes.
Not that does not restrict it. You can have the same command abilities.
So all your relics in your command.
Okay. It's all very flexible, but I will note that they brought the number down by a substantial amount, but all the options are good.
Okay, that's
yes.
Okay. If that's true, that's a massive positive change.
Yes.
Because I can't stand
6 options, then 5 are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't bother.
So with the command traits, we have Shock and Awe, Staunch Defender, Master of the Celestial Menagerie, and Envoy of the Heavens. These are all very similar to what they were before. So Shock and Awe was the allegiance ability tied to the Scion of the Storm ability. Now it has to be on your general. So if your general is a Scion of the Storm, well, okay, you know what? Technically, you are right in how you asked it. It's like, I can only take that one if I'm Scion of the Storm, but it's listed with the
It's
generic,
all of the other?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of your movement phase, so if your army is Scions of the Storm army and this general is on the battlefield at the end of your movement phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target friendly Scion of the Storm units that were set up in that phase until the end of that turn. So it still only works the same way. You show up and you're -1 to hit on your turn. So if you make your charge, you're good. And you're -1 to hit in return. And then,
So we've seen Games Workshop pull away a rule that was faction-wide
threw it
and
into
put
a
it in the
command trait.
command ability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you take that if you're Scions of the Storm? I don't know. 'Cause
Maybe.
There's a couple that are really good here because you can reroll the dice that determine the number of mortal wounds caused to an enemy unit by Redeemer units that are using their Shield of Civilization battle trait. If
I
it's,
think I would rather have the -1 to hit.
well, so this one is for the Stormkeep now technically. So we have one that are for Scions and one's for the Stormkeep technically. Yeah. So this one lets you reroll the dice that determine the D3 mortal wounds when you're charged. If when you roll the D3 mortal wounds, you get to reroll it. So it's that or that one. And then these ones are probably more neutral.
Is that for your entire army?
Yeah. No, Redeemers. It's only the Redeemers.
Every Redeemer on the table.
Yes.
Okay, I like that command ability working. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like it's totally within 12 of the general. Sorry. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, wait, that's like really good. Yeah. So that's not that great. But we have Envoy of the Heavens. When a model is slain wholly within 12 of the general, you can add 1 to the save roll for attacks that target the slain model's unit until the end of the phase. The same unit cannot benefit from this more than one. So it's a weird interaction. Your one unit is charged by 2 things. One of them kills it. They get +1 to their save now against the other unit about to attack if the general's nearby. It's not bad. It's definitely usable. So far, I like all 3 of these. Like they're uniquely good for their specific trait. And then the Master of the Celestial Menagerie. If the general has the monster keyword and is on the battlefield, subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target friendly Stormcast Eternal monsters on your table. That's nuts. That's the best. That's right there. That's the best one.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure. For sure.
Especially like the Star Drake. There's reasons to take the Star Drake now. He's pretty expensive, but you can keep him alive. You can keep him safe. He's -1 to wound now too. And like if you do, yeah, he's -1 to wound him.
Built in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Melee weapons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like you can take an artifact that you can't shoot him.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah. He's 500 points though. But that's just an
How
example.
many artifacts do you have?
Not a lot. There's technically 9.
9.
3 weapons, 3 armor, and 3 trinkets.
Do you have any stipulations on what can take what?
No.
Beautiful.
Stormcast Eternal Hero, Stormcast Eternal Hero, Stormcast Eternal Hero for all 3 categories.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Is there anything
that stands out? I won't lie, I don't like the weapon ones too much because when you're thinking of a
I find that's common.
Right.
More and more common.
When you think about Stormcast Eternal Heroes, we're talking like 5 attacks, right, on a non-unique hero. And a lot of these are, you can reroll hit rolls when you target hero or monster. You're hitting on 2s, like 3s, that's not super important. The next one is unmodified wound rolls of 6, double the damage. Like you're only going to get 1 of those.
I don't like those, yeah.
That's okay. And then the other one is if you do some damage with your weapon but don't kill the enemy, they'll suffer a mortal wound afterwards. So whatever. I always typically go for defensive stuff anyways, and these ones are wild. You can reroll save rolls for attacks that target this hero.
So that's a good one.
With a damage characteristic of 2 or more.
Oh, okay.
So 1 damage attacks you don't get to reroll
I still like it.
But like, I definitely would like to, I love it. I love that one because that's like lots of things do 2 damage.
Like it's better than rerolling your saves against only 1 damage.
Now I'm curious if that would that count D3? Because I was kind of thinking about that earlier.
Yeah, it's damage more than 1. D3 is higher than...
It says damage characteristic of 2 or more. What does D3 categorize as? Because you apply the damage afterwards, right? Interesting.
Dang.
I know. I'm not too sure on that one.
Damn you, Games Workshop.
I would assume D3 would count towards that because it could go higher. It could be 2 or higher.
It could be 1. Your argument is...
It's flawed.
Yeah.
So you do saves, and then you apply damage. You put damage in a pool, then you allocate wounds. So you do saves beforehand. So maybe it's just not D3. Who knows? There's not a lot of things that do D3 anymore, to be fair. And like,
it'll have to be addressed.
It'll probably be addressed. And like the way of the D3 is going away. Anyways, the next one is the Mirror Shield. The bear cannot be targeted of shooting attacks if it's more than 9 away. Unless that attacking unit is within 9. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing, which is differently worded.
I noticed your layout is a little different than mine.
It is a little different, yeah. And I think that's ridiculously good too, because if you have like that Dracoth, the best answer to him was typically to shoot him and kill him. You can give him a Mirror Shield and be like, no, good luck. Or you can give the rerollable save.
Big question, how many spell lords you got?
1.
Just one,
Lore of the Storm. Yeah, but you have your 3 unique kind of clans, right? So
I thought you had like a Storm one and then you had like a Sequitur one in the pack. Could be wrong. I thought you had more than one lore.
I think there was only 1 lore in the old book too.
Okay.
The spells are a little different here. Yeah, and then the amulets reroll hit. Your opponent can't reroll hit rolls against your guy, and then that's like those are all kind of fun. I like right away. I would want an extra enhancement to have like a few of those.
That was me telling you have to move on.
Yeah, I know. I could go on forever.
I know.
And then
we cannot go over everything in these books.
And then the artifacts, the little trinkets are like very niche, like once per game things. And like we have the lore. I'll give it like a couple of examples so I don't go into everything here, but they're all very samey. Like Lightning Blast does mortal wounds to an enemy. Azurite Halo lets you, like if you roll 6s to save, you do mortal wounds back.
Typical Stormcast stuff. Are they pretty much the same?
They're all pretty much the same in how they work. Starfall does mortal wounds to things on the table, all that stuff. So it's your typical Stormcast stuff, including unique units. Only Stormcast Eternal Heroes there. We have our prayers, which are the same as they kind of were before. Translocate, Stormcast Eternal Blessed Weapons.
You only have one priest. Is it the Lord Relictor? You have other priests?
I didn't look deep into that. I think we have the Lord Relictor is definitely a priest.
Right.
I think there was another one, and
I feel like there is too. We'll skim over that.
Yeah. We have our mount traits as well. You can pick one hero with a Star Drake. It lists what you could be. It could be pretty much anything you think it'd be. Star Drake, Draconith, Dracoth, Dracoline, Grip Charger.
Did Stormcast have mount traits? I know mount traits were relatively new in the grand scheme of things.
They did have them back then.
They were one of the first?
They were the first ones, yeah. And they follow the same rules, and now it's a lot clearer now how enhancements work and all that. And these are specific based on what type of mount it is. Like Etheric Swiftness are rolling out Grip Chargers, Dracoths, and Dracolines.
Okay.
Light of the Young Stars is for Star Drakes only. And then there's a few.
Does anything stand out as like, look at this?
The Star Drake one's kind of cool. You can choose this ability instead of carrying out a monster's rampage. It's cool when things interact with the core rules. So he's a Light of the Young Stars. Pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit, roll a die on a 3-up, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit in the following combat phase. So it's like, it's hard to so you compare that to like Roar, right? So like subtract 1, so that kind of counteracts. It's a weird one. I don't know why you'd want to do it.
I'm trying to think of a situation where I'd want to do it. I'm sure something will pop up.
Right. But I'd rather Roar in a lot of cases because that person, unless that person.
Well, maybe they can't Roar because they're part of the a detachment that can't take monsters' rampages.
You can't do this.
Does it say instead of doing their monster's rampage?
Yeah, it's actually this. Instead of carrying out a monster's rampage with this unit, pick one enemy. Yeah, so it's actually
so it would work. It would supersede it.
Yeah, so it supersedes monster's rampages. And I was also thinking that if you roared somewhere else,
true,
and then you could do this instead. I thought that was kind of cool. I just like things that interact with the core rules in that regard. And then like one of the ones is a trail. It's subtract 1 from unbinding rules for enemy wizards cast by friendly for spells cast by friendly Stormcast Eternal Wizards wholly within 12 of this unit. It's weird. It's like a weird one, but
subtract 1 from unbinding rules
for enemy wizards for spells cast by friendly Stormcast Eternal Wizards. So like the opponent's unbinding roll is reduced by 1.
I'm following, but it's like
I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
like that's like just a weird example of like a mountain trait that can go on anything.
He's an anti-wizard mount, but no, he's anti. No, it's too many layers for
the magic of Azir is attracted to this creature, stifling the power of opposing sorceries.
Sure, yeah. I dig it.
Now, this is very unique and very new to the Stormcast Eternals. They're holy commands.
So look at that. What's that?
So it's completely new. It's a new enhancement that you get because you get one of every type of enhancement you have when you build an army, and you could take 2 of these if you do a majestic core battalion where you get to take is it majestic? It's where you get the extra enhancement. It's a command ability. You can pick one of the following command abilities to use during the battle. These are all one-time use. So Call for Aid is when one of your Redeemer units of 5 or less models are destroyed. You use this command ability and you set them up near wholly within 12 of a hero more than 9 away from an enemy. So, your durable units on objectives die, well, you just resummon it back. That's once per game. So you can't like take the same one more than once. You'd have to take different ones. Steadfast March would work on, when the unit receives the command ability, they can run and charge. Thunderbolt Vault.
Yeah, I like that.
That's once per game. Like these are all.
When you issue that? when they go to move, right?
Use this
Or
command
like
ability once
phase.
per battle at the start of your movement phase.
Okay, so you couldn't make them auto run 6 and do it.
Right, exactly, because they can't.
They thought
have
ahead.
force.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
They thought ahead.
I still like it.
Yeah. Here's another one where that you can shoot in a turn. Wait, when do you use this one? You use command once per battle. In your hero phase, you get to shoot in your hero phase.
Amazing.
Yeah. For obviously.
But you have to pick it, right? You have to pick it and have it on your character?
Has to be a Justicar or Angelos unit. Yeah, so any of your characters could do this.
No, so they know them all?
No, they pick one of these.
pick
Sorry,
one.
they pick
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of these,
sure.
yeah. And that's Justicar or Angelos unit. Only Angelos stuff are the Vanguard guys with the like little hand crossbows, and Justicars are, well, your guys
Try
with
to make
bows.
some
Yeah.
value, get some use out of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Unleash Thy Hatred is +1 attack to a Paladin unit, which is great because Paladins hit like trucks. And the last one's Final Thunderstruck. Final Thunderstrike is when a unit dies and you roll to see if it does mortal wounds. When it goes back to heaven, you get to add one to that wound roll.
So it's normally a 6+?
Normally 6+, 5+ for Thunderstrike, 4+ if you use this command ability. Again, once per game.
Not terrible.
And that is, honestly, because it goes to the Path to Glory stuff. You have some narrative missions in there. Oh, you know what? That's important. Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about Path to Glory.
You have your
So-
War Scroll battalions. Again, that's relevant for Path to Glory, by the way, like
Right.
if anyone's curious. And then you have your match play stuff and your core battalions, and that's kind of it. That's what you're going to be getting with your new Stormcast Eternals. There's a bunch of War Scroll battalion upgrade. I'll talk about like one cool thing, but
We should, okay, yeah, grand strategies and battle tactics.
yeah. So grand strategies.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, no, I thought you were going
okay.
to gloss over them. I don't think you should.
No, I wasn't.
okay.
I nearly forgot they existed.
Yes.
But I flipped. I'm like, is there anything else? And there is. So, grand strategies. You pick this when you build your army. Before you know what you're playing against, you build towards it. You get 3 new ones. And this is, you choose these, obviously, instead of the generic ones. You have Draconith Defiance. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if the only heroes on the battlefield are friendly Draconiths, Stardrake, or Dracoth units. So you're pretty much saying you killed all the enemy heroes, and you also brought one of these in your army, and it didn't die.
So, for grand strategies, well, battle tactics is a separate thing, but grand strategies, we haven't been wowed by them. It's
Not
mostly,
yet, yeah.
for the most part, keep your battle line alive.
Yeah, so like in a lot of cases, there's been a few times where I played Soulblight Gravelords, I had like 5 vampires, and
Right.
I'll keep my wizards alive.
No.
That's not bad.
No,
Yeah.
I think we would see more variation amongst grand strategies if you could pick them after seeing your opponent's army.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
That being said, do you feel like you're going to bring, you can cover them all, but do you think you're going to bring any of those over keep your battle line alive? Now, I know if you're going to go a pure Dracoline,
Right. You
like
might
a pure
take that
dragon
one, yeah.
army, you might take that one.
You would. If you're going to do all dragons, that's not a bad one to take. But if you're going to mix in a little bit of them, yeah, I probably wouldn't take that one. Right. The Pillars of Victory is the next one. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy. The only battle line units on the battlefield are friendly Redeemer units. I like this one because it's a counter to hold the line. Because you have to kill, you're purposely going out to kill their battle line.
But they picked hold their battle line because you don't have a new Battletome yet, and you're already doing that.
It's true.
But not only do you have to do that, but you also have to keep yours alive. But you picked. Yeah.
But there's like double value in keeping yours alive and killing.
Why is there double value?
Well, because you get 3 points, you deny them 3 points.
But you're gonna do that anyway. Is what I'm trying to say.
You're right. I guess you're right. Yeah. That is pretty much hold the line.
So for me,
Yeah.
the grand
But it's like an
strategies are the
opposite.
only miss in these books for me.
Yeah. Well, I think the weird core
But
battalions are weird too.
I'm gonna forgive them. I think I really dig third edition. They did a lot of good things, a lot of positive changes. The grand strategies is a fantastic idea.
Right.
It just needs to be refined, in my opinion.
I think so too. It's just
I love the idea of their Games Workshop, but you're kind of missing the mark a little bit on them.
a wee bit. It's a little weird, right? They have to be careful because they don't want to make auto pick ones.
I know,
Yeah.
and that fair.
And it is,
Fair.
again, first impressions. There might be more to that one that I'm not thinking of.
Oh, for
Pillars of
sure.
Victory. Yeah.
There's always going to be one that we're going to find later on that's actually quite useful.
The third one's odd. It's Sacred Charge. So this one's only relevant if you're playing the Stormkeep ones. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there are 2 or more friendly City of Sigmar units on the battlefield.
I'm never going to take that. It's going to be easier to keep your battle line alive with that army than the Sigmar ones.
It's like you could bring purposely bad Cities of Sigmar
But
stuff.
no, actually, no, yeah, you can skew heavy into...
Plus, Phoenix Guard are pretty durable too. So...
Can't you just make them battle line somehow? Play Phoenix Guard?
You'd just be playing Cities of Sigmar.
That's fair.
And then you just play Hold the Line.
That's fair, exactly. So whatever, I'm not going to joke on that too long. However, the battle tactics, I think, I haven't read those ones. I skimmed them. I like mine. We'll get to mine. But like, I dig them. I think they kind of got. They're not so good. Like I'm using this every game.
Right.
You're gonna pick them sometimes, and sometimes you're not.
Exactly, 100%. It's just gives
I think
you
they
more
nailed
flexibility.
it. They nailed it.
With this, it really makes it seem like I don't want. It's very. I found it very rare to not be able to pick a battle tactic while playing match play games with the generic one. So this makes it even more flexible. And these are the same rules. You can only pick these once per game. Like you have 6 options. You can do all Stormcast ones if you wanted to. You don't even have to do the generic ones, even though the generic ones are very easy. A couple examples. Pioneer the Realms. You complete this tactic if all of the objectives wholly within your opponent's territory are contested by City of Sigmar units. That's a bad one. I would almost never pick that one.
You can make a list that can pick it, but no. But here's the thing. Like,
so I guess one thing to note there is they don't have to be controlled by. They just have to be contested by.
Like late game, there's only a few. Maybe there's only 3 objections to the table because one got pulled off.
Right.
Maybe you got your 3. Like don't say you're never going to use that.
I guess
you're
right,
rarely going to use it.
Because you could build towards that too. Just you could have a couple of like outriders, like they're really fast, like guys on horses, and they could
absolutely.
They could
Fair point.
I think it's called Ferocious Advance. It's the one where you have to get
within 3.
Sorry.
Oh,
I was gonna say the one where you have to get 2 of your units in your opponent's territory, and then you can get that like early on, and then get this later on afterwards.
If they don't kill them.
So if they're
attacking them, good.
Exactly, because they're like a little cheap crap unit that just they shoot like little piddly guns and like that's it. Yeah. No challenge too great is another one. You can do this tactic if an enemy hero is slain by wounds caused by an attack made with a melee weapon by a friendly Redeemer unit this turn.
Doable.
Yeah, it's super
Very
doable.
doable.
You got a hero 2 wounds there, and I got a battle line right there. Yeah, I'll take no challenge too great. 2 more, he's dead. Poke.
Yep.
Got him. And these are some of the examples, right? Drakenhof Destruction is a unique one for the Drakenhof stuff, so I'll go over this one. But it's pick 1 unit in your opponent's starting army that is on the battlefield and that has 10 or more wounds. You complete this tactic if that unit is destroyed by wounds caused by attacks made by friendly Draconith, Stardrake, or Dracoth units during this turn. And it's kind of like bring it down, kill a monster, but this gives you more flexibility because it doesn't need to have the monster keyword.
Right.
So if your opponent has 10 or more wounds on a steam tank, I guess,
Yeah.
you can kill the steam tank with a Dracoth thing and get the points for that. Something there, right?
Yep.
Now there's a few more there, but like that gives you an example.
They're doable. The more options you have in that's
pretty much it.
Is
yeah.
like it's already now a massive advantage for Stormcast or even the Orruk Warclan over everybody else.
Yeah, because now they're more likely to get a battle tactic every turn, and it's harder. You as like a competitive Age of Sigmar player might have been getting it in your head like, okay, these are how I stop.
All 6 they have.
I know all 6.
I know what he's already done,
and I'm going to stop him from doing these 3. Now you have to remember 6 more that are unique to their army. Good luck. Good luck.
That's impossible.
That might be too many layers on a game that's already got a lot of layers going on, especially when everyone else gets their Battletomes. And I assume you have 6 battle tactics as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So good luck. Good luck trying to stop. And I thought it was impressive when people were like, okay, you did this, I'm going to stop this, and this one this turn. So you have to do that one, and that's going to be a stretch. Yeah, no.
Well, the thing is, these should be more specialized in something. Everybody's going to know how to stop the other ones or attempt to.
Right.
And you're like, okay, which ones can you you have to just go take it.
Right.
It's just slow the game down a little bit. You go check what they could do. You're going to read their book.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, I can't stop you from getting all of them. So,
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. And if you are able to memorize all of the opponent's battle tactics, maybe just read them before the game, and you're able to like kind of keep that knowledge going throughout the whole game and just remember it.
That's not me.
That's not. I can't do that either. Now we have the core battalions. They're like kind of the last addition to this new battle tome here. I feel like they're just weird. So they give you specific. I got 3 for the Stormcast Eternals, and they have the same icons. Yours are unique to yours.
Yeah, I got something weird to say about mine. Weird to mine.
I got the same unique one. So I got troops, commander, subcommander, artillery, and monster. We have the Redemption Brotherhood, which is 3 troops, and it can add 3 more troops. This is a unified battalion, so it's a 1-drop. So if you just have 6 troops in your 60 troops is 1 drop. That's not bad.
Good.
That's not bad. But I like the battle regiment a little bit more.
I don't have a 1-drop one.
You don't have a 1-drop one? All right. This is good, I'm sure, for certain. You could do like a warlord, like a quick warlord one, or a Brotherhood Command one. Probably not a Brotherhood Command one and this one, but you could do like a cheap warlord one, or I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that gives you a magnificent, like an enhancement or a command point. That one's a little bit easier to fit in. You could do that for 3 drops and have this for like 1 drop. So like a 4-drop list if you wanted kind of both.
We can do a battle regiment in that for 2 drops.
You could.
Stormcast will easily do
a 2-drop one, as opposed, because that, you know what, that's a good point too. Because like, if you want a 2-drop list, like, I got so many troops, I have to do 2 battle regiments. That means I need another command leader.
I mean, spamming troops isn't going to be terrible with Stormcast.
Exactly that. Brotherhood Command.
Or sorry, non-behemoth artillery.
Yeah, exactly.
We call them troops.
Exactly, troops in this case. The Brotherhood Command is you need 2 leaders, 2 commanders, which is any type of leader, and 3 troops, and you get magnificence. you could pick one extra enhancement for your army. Now it says you can fit one more leader in this, and that's where commander. That's where I get lost. Like, why would you want to fit a third one in this?
Well, mate,
because Magnificence does it's just one extra enhancement.
I have one that says you can add a Hobgrot unit to it. But what the detachment gives is an extra command point.
Right, mine gives an extra enhancement. Why would I care about that extra? Like, why would I care about? Like, why not just say you need 2 commanders and 3 troops? That is it. Why add the extra one? There's no
maybe Games Workshop is anticipating people making a house rule where everything has to be in a battalion.
Right,
in a core battalion.
There's no rule that says every unit in your army must fit into a core battalion unless everyone has skimmed past
like
that.
This one gives you the effects of one of the command abilities,
right?
But only the units in there can take it.
Right.
This one gives a command ability, a command point. It doesn't matter who's in the battalion.
It doesn't matter. It would make more sense if it was like that. You can maybe if they gave a more unique one, it was like you could do any of these commands to anything in this core battalion. It would make sense. That would make a lot more sense. Yeah.
Right.
The Soul Strike Brotherhood. See, this one makes sense. It's 3 troops and 1 artillery. You can have up to 3 artillery in it, though. That's kind of cool. This one gives you the Slayer trait. This is new, unique to these 2 books here.
I got one as well, but yeah.
Once per battle, 1 unit from this battalion. Everything works now. Can receive the all-out attack or unleash hell command without the command point being spent and without the command being issued and without a command point being spent. Awesome. That makes sense. So I
have the exact same.
That makes sense. I like that, and that's cool. That's unique because you could do. You could put all troops. That could be all Vanguard stuff with the ballista, right? And then they could all benefit from that. They could all benefit from that once per game or once per battle ability there. That's kind of it. You
have a number of war scrolls that got changed. We can't go over all of them.
There's like a million of them. But
what is worth talking about? We have new units in that book too.
We have let's say the Celestin Prime. He's awesome. I think he's really good
for a long time.
But now he's got a 4-up ward save.
Oh.
Like the Celestin Prime, where is he? Leader, Celestin Prime. How many points are you? I can't. 325. He still has a role where he gets more attacks on Galmaraz when he's in Retribution from up high. He picks anywhere he wants on the battlefield to nuke it for 3 mortal wounds. And then his Orrery of Celestial Fates, where you got to change whatever die roll you wanted to something. It's once per turn before you make a hit roll, wound roll, or whenever you do a save roll for him, or when you go to run or charge. So it covers everything, just making it clear. And you get to choose the result now, so it's way better. So you don't change one die to anything you want. You just change the result of the die roll.
Like he always said that.
He would roll a charge and then change one of the die rolls to whatever he wants. You know when you roll the thing, I was like, I'm going to take a 12 on that charge.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to roll a 6 on that hit. I'm going to roll a 6 on that save, right? Anything like that. That was worded to be a little bit better. But what I wanted to say is the ward save is unique. He's got 8 wounds, 3-up save. 8 wounds is obviously low, but with a 4-up ward, that's effectively 12 wounds.
Well,
no, it's more than that. It's actually 14 wounds in a way, because it's like half of half, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 15, maybe technically 15. So he's a 15 wound model, and he's got obviously bravery 10, so he can what's it called? Heroic
recovery.
Heroic recovery on bravery 10. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's getting that off.
I think the Celestia Prime is amazing. He can go into any of the
Stormhosts.
Any of the Stormhosts, yeah.
Beautiful.
Then you have your 2 named dragons.
Now, okay, can you back up those dragons real quick?
Oh yeah.
Are they both named dragons? There's no generic version?
These are named dragons. There are characters that ride dragons, and there are...
No, but this brand new dragon kit.
These are named.
It only makes 2 named dragons?
There's new kits coming out.
Right.
Yeah. But this makes 2 named dragons. Yes.
But that kit doesn't make a 3rd generic one?
There's no generic
There's no generic one of that type.
I don't know what the kit's gonna, because there's a generic dragon with a guy riding it.
Oh, okay. So it'll be the same kit.
It could be the same. It could very well be the same.
No, it's the same kit.
It's the same kit. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we have Krondus and Karazai. They showed them
when
all.
I skimmed that book, I guess I missed that. I was like, is that really only 2? So we have...
There's a whole... You can do a whole dragon army, but the thing is, they can't be... The dragon riders on the big dragons aren't battle line. You need the Dracoth to be your battle line in that case. But that was to be expected. Unless there's... I think there's some people hoping that like an all dragon army, like 5 models kind of thing.
Show me the generic dragon, the character riding it.
Oh, let me find him. There's a lot going on in here. The Knight...
You have like 15, 16 pages of characters?
There's a... So Knight Draconis is the hero. That's him right there. And then there's a...
No, that's a different dragon.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but that's a big model still.
The brand new... Yeah, but this is significantly smaller on this one. The new kit for the big dragon
builds 2
only builds named character dragons.
Is there going to be one kit or is it 2 kits, do you think?
This is one kit.
That's one kit?
This is
Okay.
one kit for sure.
Yeah.
I can't say that, but
You're confident.
this is one kit.
So that's what I thought. So if you go back to the previous guy, you can build a Knight Draconis or a Draconic Rider or whatever.
That's the slightly smaller but still a giant dragon.
Yeah, so it's not any of the Knight guys. Vindicators, Knight, Heraldor, Liberators, Vanquishers, Sequitors, Judicators, Stormstrike
A
Chariot.
lot of shooting in this
Oh,
book. yeah.
lots of shooting in this book, but there's kind of a lot. But the shooting is a
There was
heck of a
very
lot
small,
better.
yeah.
The shooting is a heck of a lot better. Where? Oh, there's so many. There it
There
is.
he is.
Stormdrake Guard. He's the same.
How many points for one of them? And can they be a squad? They're not a unit, right?
No, it's single. Stormdrake Guard is a single thing. So
Movement
it's
12,
145 points for him.
9 wounds, bravery 8, 3
3
up save.
He's got a lance on the charge. He's got like a whole page of rules. He's a champion. He can issue himself orders, obviously. Single, you can include 1 unit of this type for each Knight Draconis you include in your army. So you can have 1 Knight Draconis and then 1 little homie with him. Yeah.
Only one,
This
eh?
unit cannot have the battle line battlefield role. That's unique because I've never seen it say anything like that before.
Interesting. There's no way to get. Okay, that's fair.
It's like I can't think of any way to give a unit.
I've seen Games Workshop throw pictures of multiples of those on the table. Like, so they have.
It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
So you have a character version for every one of them?
Yeah, yeah. You must.
Okay.
You must. You can include 1 unit of this type for each. 145. The character is Knight Draconis.
That's unfortunate, but okay.
255 for the leader. So,
Yeah.
and they're not battle line. So your battle line again are your Dracoth stuff.
What's the cheapest Dracoth unit you can buy?
Oh, Dracothian Guard, Concuss. They're all one's 230. So the cheapest is 220 for 2 of them.
Yeah, it's
battle
gonna be
line.
expensive army, point-wise.
It's weird because it's like their battle line in Hammers of Sigmar specifically.
Okay. You know what? I'm sure.
Wait a second.
I'm curious as to see how viable a pure dragon list will be.
Oh, Stormdrake Guard. You can bring 2. Interesting. You can bring. Okay. Wow. This is weird. There's 2. Look at that. There's 2 options for Stormdrake Guard. One is 1 option at 145 points, and you can bring it. Sorry, I got confused because there's so many options. They're all so similarly named. I don't get it. What is the point of that?
It's okay.
So you
can
bring-
bring a single Stormdrake Guard
For 145.
145 points. He can never be battle line,
Right.
and you have to have the character version.
Right.
Or you can bring a unit of 2 of them for 285 points.
5 points cheaper.
5 points cheaper. But wounds carry over, right? They are battle line in the Stormcast Eternals army if the general is a Dracoloth Stardrake.
That's what I thought. Okay. Something was missing. I'm missing something here. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
That's weird.
I like it.
You can bring 1 of them for every night,
No,
or 2.
How's it called? The big dragon?
The Star Drake or
Stardrake.
Draconith.
What character you have to bring to make a battle line?
A Draconith or a Star Drake.
Can't read the book. Sorry.
Oh yeah. It's
The
interesting.
wait, no, where are you guys? This one here.
Yeah, those guys
So Draconith or Stardrake.
Or Star Drake. Yeah.
Oh, it's
So the big guy. Yeah, the big guy. Or a Draconith, which is the
the 245-point one.
the Lord Celestin Star. Yeah. He's that's a Draconith.
Okay, we're gonna see some sweet dragon armies. I
There's-
can't wait
yeah,
to
there's gonna
see
be- there's gonna
how
be, yeah.
powerful or efficient or effective they're gonna be.
He's only
Maybe they're trash. I
215
don't think
points.
they will be, but
He's only 215 points. Sorry, Draconith are also the name guys. The 2 named dragons.
makes
are Draconith.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Wait, is the Lord Celestin on Dracoth not? Maybe he's not even a Draconith. Oh gosh, there's so many layers to this book.
It's a huge book.
One last thing to look up. Lord Celestin on Stardrake is Stardrake. Lord Celestin on Dracoth is probably not Draconith, now that I think about it. Lord Celestin, oh please, where are you? Oh no, it's happening. I'm lost in the book now. Lord Arcanum,
This happens. Okay.
There he is,
So-
Lord.
Oh,
He is only Dracoth, not Draconith. So it must be a Stardrake or the 2 named dragons.
okay. So you're spending a lot of points. How many points for the named dragons?
Oh,
Because the
gosh.
Stardrake guy's like 500 points.
Leader Behemoth. Where's Leader Behemoth? Battlefield roll.
Are they leaders?
They are Leader Behemoths. We have Karazai the Scarred is 600. Corondus, son of Dracothian, is 600. Lord Celestin on Stardrake is
Corondus. That sounds familiar.
Corondus, yeah. And then the Lord Celestin on Stardrake is 500 points. So your general for this army is minimum 500 points. Or 600 for one of the other 2.
Whatever, man.
Or you bring
I'll
the 2
do it
named
all-
dragons for 1,200 points.
All day long, I do it. Okay, so obviously there's a bunch of other little changes amongst the War Scroll battalions.
Yes.
We haven't had the book long enough to catch them all. We can't go over them all.
Yeah.
This will be a 17-hour video. We're gonna move on.
It feels like it's already 17 hours long.
Let's see. I think we're good. We're good. We are good.
Oh, we're killing it. Okay.
We're killing it.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of ward stays on your named characters and a lot of minor changes on your war scrolls expected. Everything's got rend. All the characters, I do want to say all the characters seem solid in combat. You know how before when you used to play Stormcast Eternals or play against him, he's like, I'm gonna charge my character, and what does he do? He's like, oh, 2 attacks, like 3s and 3s, no rend 1 damage. Now everything's like 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1 or 2, 2 damage. It's like they're very imposing and they're very heroic, which is what you'd want to see. Now we can finally move on to the Orruk.
I'm excited. Okay.
I love this book. I really do want to try and anvil.
One day we'll paint that army. White armor, you'll have black armor.
And we fight. Bam.
Yeah.
We fight.
I go first because chest white goes first, right?
Chest white goes first, yeah.
All right, let's get to this. Wanna just
Yeah.
Orruk Warclans.
We're back.
Now, I'm thinking I want to take on this army still from Matthew because he's kind of a little too busy in the short term to do bat reps.
Are we talking everything?
Well, yes, because trolls, even though those are the I get, I love Iron Jaws.
Well, I mean, like
Ard boys.
You do like Ard boys,
I do.
So if you're gonna play
like
Orruk
bone
Warclans,
splitters.
oh yeah,
I need a bunch. I need a bunch of Savage Orcs for my army. Anyway, my fantasy army.
Yeah.
I want them on convertible bases.
Okay.
Like I want to do it all, but
so you want to do all Orc?
But by the time I get mine done, Matthew will probably be making back reps again. He's minor hiatus as he works on a bunch of other little things in the company.
Right. He's doing like a website design.
That being said, this looks fun. So we have many allegiance abilities. We actually have technically 4.
Yeah.
Is the best way to explain it because we have. Well, this is actually a battle trait. I guess they're all battle traits. Well, they're all allegiance abilities.
Your allegiance abilities say you get.
So you can be pure cruel boys and you can through cruel boy abilities. It's kind of like, for me, this is nothing new. Beast of Chaos had that. Yeah. Like you had your Gores did a Bray Herds did a thing. Yep. Your Minotaurs did a thing. So there's something for cruel boys. There's something for Iron Jaws. There's something for the Bone Splitters. And then there's the big Wah battle traits.
Everything combined together. I will say it does feel a little jarring because the cruel boys seem so separate from the rest of them.
Well, cruel boys models are so head and shoulders above, in my opinion, the rest of them.
Of course.
It's like the army doesn't even look cohesive anymore. It's cruel boys and the old stuff.
Yeah, the old stuff I think does actually.
Even Gordrak, I think Gore Grunters are some of the nicest models ever.
Right.
Everything there is too chunky.
It's very comically Games Workshop.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very orky.
Cruel Boys a little more live, much like we saw with the Vindicators, what we call the Hoplites. Yeah. More live, more dynamic.
I think everyone agreed.
Less posable.
The Cruel Boys are very Tolkien orc.
Yes. No, you know what? I meant to bring this up to you. Yeah. There's some old Games Workshop art that these were taken from.
Oh yeah?
The poses, the weapons, the helmets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to see some. Anyways, I got to stay on track. Okay, I'm going to do the Cruel Boys last. So Iron Jaws, I don't think there's anything here worth talking about. It's about the same as far as I can tell.
There might be some minor changes, but they have their
they use a command ability from Mighty Destroyers to move or to fight if you're engaged. But it's a command ability now.
It was a command ability before.
This doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not going to go over it in great detail. Now, there's 3 sub-factions for the Iron Jaws. You got the Iron Sons, the Blood Tooth, and the Choppas.
Those are all the same.
Familiar.
Those are all the same they were before. But they just gave you now instead of giving you like an artifact command trait and all that stuff, it's like here's just like the Stormcast Eternal Host. It's like here's one rule. This is what you do.
And Bone Splitters, same thing. We have the Bone Grinders, the Ice Bones, and Drakfoot. I know those are there before.
Yeah.
But there's like the Stormcast one.
When we do get to them, I want to look at the Ice ones, whatever.
I was just gonna say because
they used to have that weird thing where they ignored, like they hunted death or something. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna check that up right now because it was Iceborne. Okay. If you choose Iceborne for your Bone Splitters. If the unmodified wound roll for attack made with a melee weapon by a friendly Iceborne model is 6, the attack causes a number of mortal wounds equal to the damage of the character.
Okay, so it's completely different.
So it's exactly the same as the poison.
Yeah. Okay. Because it used to be like a weird like anti-death thing. It was like there's no. I can't remember. You couldn't like.
You can't take any. Anything that ignores the damage can't be taken.
Right. And then they had something else against death too. It was very odd. I remember it was very odd. Very
angry
specific.
for death.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are. I'm sure there are differences.
So yeah, for the most part, there are like those things. They're all changed a little bit. The sub factions of the clans, those did have minor changes because they were like a lot more expansive before, but they were bloated and they didn't do much, right? So now it's way better because now it's a rule that you're always going to want to use.
I'm just trying to point like somebody's going to get mad there on that. We're not going into greater detail. Games Workshop, probably not their fault, but the books came in afternoon last day, so
we gotta get these out to you at some point, right?
So I do want to cover the allegiance abilities to the Cruel Boys,
absolutely,
because these are zany, these are amazing,
these are all new too,
fantastic,
and fun. Yeah.
So you have the venom encrusted weapons. I believe everybody knows about this one. It's if you roll a 6 to hit, The weapon does as many mortal wounds as its damage characteristic.
Is it hit rolls?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's hit, for sure.
I couldn't remember if it was hit or wound before.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hit. Yeah. So, yeah, no, that's a fantastic ability. The stats on the Cruel Boys aren't... Oh, sorry. This is Cruel Boy Orruks. So not the Hobgrots. And not the Mounts.
If anyone's curious, no, the War Chanted does not increase the damage characteristic of Cruel Boy stuff.
Yes, the War Chanted still only increases damage of Iron Jaws.
Iron Jaws.
It's the first question Luka had.
Yeah, because you said that, I'm like, wait a second, I was curious if the Hype Man was going to do that. He doesn't.
So they all have their own Wa.
Right.
So the Cruel Boy Wa is once per battle when a Cruel Boy general fights, he can do his Wa, and you can pick 2 other friendly Cruel Boy units wholly within 18 to then immediately fight.
So when your general goes to fight, you Wa, and then
once per game.
2 other units fight immediately too, right?
So 3 units to fight, as long as they're wholly within 18 your general.
It seems like a minor Wa.
It's not bad. No, the Wa for the other guys, the Iron Jaws Wa, once per battle at the start of your charge phase.
That's extra attack.
You can pick 1 friendly Iron Jaws general on the battlefield and say they're calling it Iron Jaws Wa. The other turn, add 1 to charge rolls for friendly Iron Jaws units and improve the range characteristics of melee weapons for friendly Iron Jaws units. That's table wide. There's no.
That's completely new.
I know. I want to. The walls are different.
Yeah.
So that one is add rend and.
That's super good. That is super good.
Add 1 to charge.
You're super durable as Ardbor. You don't care about having to immediately fight, and you're getting stuck in, and you're just.
Well, Ardbor still have that thing where if you kill something,
they still have that.
Somebody else can fight after them.
So that actually lines up really nicely with their wall. Yeah.
Oh, Bone Splitter's their war paint. I think it's pretty much 6 up ward save is their war paint now.
Yeah, that's their
as understood. Yeah. The Bone Splitter wall is once per battle at the start of the combat phase, pick 1 friendly Bone Splitter's general on the battlefield and say they're calling a Bone Splitter's wall. If you do so until the end of the phase, friendly Bone Splitter units table wide have a 4 board.
That's super cool.
I did that one as well.
So I guess there's the Great Wa too. We'll get to that in a second. That's the other one. Now I'm curious we're a little all over the place here, but the Ard, because I'm thinking.
I want to go a little Wa. Sorry.
The Ard boys, do they still have the allegiance ability where they get +1 of their charge rolls and run rolls?
I don't recall that. That's their Wa now.
So it's built into the wall. They lost that.
So the Iron Jaws battle traits, you can pick one of the following. All Iron.
Because the Ard boys, if I recall, the Iron Jaws allegiance ability, if I recall, they had the command ability of the Mighty Destroyers. If they took damage from like a ranged attack that wasn't a melee, they got to move d6 inches towards the enemy. They had a bonus to their charge. That might have been it. And then they had the Wa.
Well, no, their Wa does that now. Their Wa gives them +1 charge.
Yes.
And then increase the melee by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they lost the always +1 charge, and they lost the d6 move as well. They used to have a d6 move. That never came out. That really never.
But they have Mighty Destroyers.
Yeah.
They have command ability. They had both.
Yeah, they had both. They had both before. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like all of them, but I need to talk about the dirty tricks of the Cruel Boys.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really cool.
These are cool.
I think if every army had something like this, it'd be amazing. This is not. Oh, this might be game-breakingly good, but it's not. Okay,
it's a roll. It's a roll, so it's a die mechanic.
We'll discuss it. After players have received their starting command points, but before the start of the first turn, you pick 1 of the following dirty tricks to deploy during the game. So you know who's going first because command points have been awarded.
So like you're going first, you get your 1, and I get my 2. I'm going second.
I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite, and I told Luka you can't go over everything. I'm going to go over everything on this.
That's
because
cool.
You pick 1 of 4 dirty tricks. These
are all new. These are exciting.
So one of them is covered in mud. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting a predator. You pick. You roll 3 dice, and then you roll die. For every 4+, you pick 1 unit that is not a hero or a monster, and that unit is not visible to enemy units.
Oh.
It's for the first turn.
Yeah, so they cover themselves in mud.
They cover themselves in mud.
And they hide. And you can't see them. It's not for the first battle run, they're not visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not terrible. There are other ways of doing that with Cruel Boys. It's not terrible. That's maybe the worst one.
But it's good. It's still good, though.
I know.
Wait, so it's not hero, monster?
Not hero, not monster.
Cruel Boy, not hero,
so
not
like
monster.
your chaff, your screeners.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Or anything really. Yeah. Okay, we have we're gonna do lethal surprise next. Roll 3 dice. For every 4+, you can pick 1 terrain feature or different objective that is not wholly within enemy territory and secretly note it. The first time any enemy finishes a move within 1 of that terrain feature or objective, roll a die on a 2+, D6 mortal wounds.
D6.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of going near anything.
That one's also not great in comparison.
Oh my god. Well, the one you really like might not work all the time though. right?
Well, there's one I really like and the one that's so clearly the best.
Oh,
and they're
I
different.
can't remember what the best one is. Ooh, go proceed.
Okay, let's go to the best one. I think it was actually the physically best one.
This is the best one? Okay.
It's called Noisy Racket. Subtract 1 from rune rolls for attacks made by enemy units in the first battle round.
Okay. That actually sounds
That's amazing.
That sounds oddly familiar for them, yeah. That's uniquely good against an Alpha Strike army too, yeah.
Or maybe you're gonna Alpha Strike them. You're gonna send, for some reason you're gonna have your army charging.
You could if you yeah.
They're all minus 1 to wound. It's clearly the best one.
It's like it's good, especially if because you know when you're going, right? So if you're going second in the battle round and you know their army's gonna aggressively take objectives, you could like make noise, charge in, fight, -1.
The great thing is you at this point you have tons of information.
This one
you know what your army is, you know what their army is, you know how everybody's deployed, you know who's going first.
And this one is specifically the best because there's no die rolls needed.
Yeah, it's clearly the best. Now
it's the most consistent one.
Now my favorite one.
This one's
it's called it's called Disappearance Act. You roll 3 dice. For every 4+, you get to pick 1 unit. 1 different enemy unit on the battlefield that has not been reinforced. It can't be reinforced.
Okay.
Then roll a die, and for each unit you picked, if the roll is greater than that unit's wounds characteristic, your opponent must remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up as a reserve.
Yeah.
At the end of your opponent's first movement phase, they must set it up on the battlefield wholly within their territory, more than 9 inches away from all enemy units. Yeah. This dirty trick cannot be picked if the battle plan has no reserves rule. So, I know there's at least one that has no reserves.
There's one, yeah.
So you can flood their zone so they can't come on the table and they're going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, you have to roll greater than the wound characteristic of a unit.
So we're talking 1 or 2 typically.
So you're pretty much not getting characters.
Yeah.
You're not getting monsters.
Right.
But what you're going to do is potentially getting their chaff out of the way.
So any of their
units, redirectors or screeners.
Right. Or heck, even their units that are fast enough to grab objectives right away and you're going to be annoying. Like, no, get that out of here. Like, you're not getting points on the first turn.
My Beast of Chaos Warhounds, they're 1 wound apiece and they're super annoying for running forward and blocking and stuff. No, 2+, get in reserves.
Get in reserves. But the mechanic of it, you could choose 3 units, right? Because you could get lucky and get 3 4-ups.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me 100%? The Halfling pot from the Halfling Chef. From Blood Bowl. From Blood Bowl. Because how much is that thing super good, but never works?
Noisy Racket, minus 1 to wound is so good, it's better. Yeah. I don't know how often I would do this, just because it'll be really annoying.
Well, it's the nice thing about these little shenanigans here is the fact that you get to know who's going first, who's going second. They only work once in the first battle round, and you can only do 1 of them. But I think you are going to use a lot of them.
So they're all usable.
They're all
usable.
Yeah.
Like even that Disappearing Act, there are times when you look at the table, you look at the armies and go like, nobody's fighting battle round 1.
Right.
I know they're going to run over Blackjack. They're going to run over Blackjack. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to get those guys off the table so they can't do that.
You know what? That would have been a great game. Imagine you were playing. Remember my whole zombie army, and I had the 40 zombies right in the middle.
100%.
I auto ran about 6. Like, no, those zombies are instead.
All 4 of these dirty tricks.
Yeah.
I love them.
You could have hit all 3 of my zombies. You could have got 3 4-ups and hit all 3 of my massive zombie units and just got them off the table right away.
Because they're 1 each. 2+.
Yeah. You get 3 4-ups, 2+, 2+, 2+.
What's the math on that? 3 dice and a 4-up, and then 3 2+. I can't do that math. I'm not smart enough.
It's not great. It's not the best, but like.
We got warlord traits and relics for artifacts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go over all of them because it's not that important.
And these are nice too because again, like your little sub factions, you do not have to take a command trait and an artifact. Right. You get to actually customize your heroes now and use the stuff in your book.
Now, for me, unlike the Stormcast book that we did before, maybe you didn't watch that and you're jumping here. All the relics are kind of for everybody, but there's some keywords locked. For the Orruk Warclans, there are 3 warlord traits, 4 cruel boys, and 4 artifacts. Iron Jaws have 3 artifacts and 5 warlord traits. Oh no, sorry. 3 warlord traits and 2 things for wizards.
Right.
But just and then bones for the same thing. Yeah. So not everything for everybody, but we also have the big Wa battle trait.
Yeah. So this is kind of similar to what was before.
Kind of similar. Yeah. So you gain points. You want to accumulate Wa points. Yep. You gain D6 to start your hero phase if your general's on the table.
Yep.
Is that the same as before?
Yep.
You get 2 points for if there's any friendly war chanters, not per.
Yep.
Was that the same?
I can't remember.
I feel like it was per.
It could have been like the nuances of it might be different, but that's generally how you got the
basically
before.
Yeah. And then you stack up a bunch of abilities, getting up to 20. If you get 20 walk points, you're getting a +1 hit and +1 to wound where you want to sit. And then when you get to 24, you can release a big wall, lose all your wall points, and gain +1 attack as well.
I think before you only lost half your wall points.
Half?
Right.
Yeah, you lose them all now.
Yeah. The idea there is you build up to like a bunch of wall points, and then you like do the Great Wall when you're going for the killing blow. Like turn 3, when you have +1 to hit and wound, you do the big wall. Yeah.
They added a
and try and win.
what's the word I'm looking for? Heroic action.
Oh, for the Great Wall.
It's called here we go, here we go, here we go.
Okay.
This heroic action can be carried out with one friendly Orruk Warclan's hero instead of picking one from the core rules. If you do so, roll a die. If the roll is greater than the number of the current battle round, you receive a number of wall points equal to the number of the current battle round.
That's real good.
For example, in the third battle round, if you roll a 4+, you receive 3 wall points.
There's a lot of times where you're like, I'm not really going to do anything. Maybe I think on the third battle round, you are going to be doing for heroic actions, probably.
Often.
Maybe like turn 1 to get one wall point.
Wall points might be more important than
command points.
Command points.
I wonder. Yeah,
up to you. Command points are so good, though.
Up to you as the player. Like, heck, I love heroic recovery. I love like.
Well, you know what? If the wall point is going to tip you over to +1 to wound,
100%.
Or +1 to hit, your whole army's getting that, and that's just the one you're using the command point.
I think that's
yeah. You're gonna do that.
I think that's where that'll mostly come up. If you're 1 or 2 points shy on turn 2, you'll probably do the here we go, or heck, even turn 3.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mount traits. One of them turns the stomp rampage to D6 more wounds than a D3.
That's cool.
Yeah, bunch of different ones. We don't have to go over them all. We have Iron Jaws spell lore, Bone Split spell lore, and the lore of the swamp. I don't think I want to cover all these. There's the Nasty Hex spell from Lore of the Swamp. There's only 4 spells in there, but it is a 7 to cast with only a range of 12 though. Successfully cast, you pick one enemy within range and visible to the caster. Until the end of your turn, ward rolls cannot be made by models in that unit.
Ooh. And ward rolls are going to get more and more valuable as more and more ward saves are incorporated into the game as well.
There's a couple other really good spells, but they're nuanced.
Yeah.
And then we got the 3 clans or war clans per.
Right.
I want to point out there are big yellers, but the yellow are like yellow, I'm assuming here, because it's yellow. It's like bad moons.
Right.
Plus 3-inch range to your missile weapons and reroll 1s to hit for your missile weapons. And then typical stuff you'd expect. Bloodstones, Iceborne, Drakfoot, we already went through all that.
Yeah. What are the I'm curious what the Blood Sons? What are they called? The Ardboy one?
The Ardboys?
Yeah, the Blood.
So Blood Sons is called Hunt and Crush. At the end of the combat phase, friendly Bloodtooth.
Maybe, yeah. I can't
Bloodtooth Gorgruntas has fought, that phase and are within 3 of the enemy can make a pilot move. In addition, those that fought but are not within 3 of the enemy can each make a normal move or attempt to charge.
Interesting.
Ooh. So if they kill everything, they can potentially charge again.
That's interesting, yeah. But
they have to fight again because it's not another fight phase. So they wouldn't get to fight again.
They just get stuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
A lot of Path to Glory stuff, but we'll cover that in the next video.
I like that because that's unique because there's no consolidation move in Age of Sigmar, so that's like a weird pseudo consolidation move. Yeah.
Okay, and just like the Stormcast, we have grand strategies and battle tactics. We're going to go with grand strategies first. If you skipped over the Stormcast part of the book, I'm going to point out something. This, to me, just like that book, is the one miss in this book.
They're a little weird.
Well, there's a miss and a confusion in this book.
Right. Yeah.
This is the miss. The grand strategies are, I'll recap my opinion. Games Workshop's onto something here.
Yeah.
You need to refine it a little bit.
There might be, and again, like, there might be more to it than what we initially look at a surface level too.
There always is.
Yeah.
We're not so arrogant to believe that we know what we're talking about everything all the time.
Right.
But for us, we just find we're just taking keep battle line alive. Because you really need to pick these after seeing your opponent's army. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Let's see what they got for what's the plan, or Warclan army only. So we got in and out lads. You can pick this grand strategy only if the model picked to be your general is Cruel Boys.
Right.
So we have one for Iron Jaws and Bone Splitters. When the battle ends, you complete the strategy if the general has not been slain and fewer than half the units on your starting army have been destroyed.
So wait. Your general must not be slain, and you have to keep half your army still?
Yes.
And your Cruel Boys? Oh, that's a yikes for sure.
Never gonna happen.
They're not even remotely close. I would dare say the Bone Splitters are more durable than the Cruel Boys.
Way more durable, actually.
Yeah, they're probably the least durable one.
For the Iron Jaws, we got Shomu's Boss. When the battle ends, you complete the strategy if 2 or more enemy heroes were slain by attacks made by that general, and your general's not been slain.
Say that one again?
So the general has to kill 2 enemy heroes
and
be alive at the end of the game.
That's like a weird version of Vendetta where it's keep
But
your
the problem
general.
is you can't see their army
Yeah.
first.
They might not even have
They
two
might not
heroes.
even have 2 heroes.
They could just have one. Yeah. Interesting. They might only have one.
Bone Splitters, after deployment, I wonder if my beard's hitting my mic. I hope not. After deployment, pick one terrain feature wholly within enemy territory. When the battle ends, you complete the strategy if you control that terrain feature.
Sure. Yeah. That's.
You're not the fastest.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my massive Bone Splitter, Ward Save, Battle Line units alive.
Yeah. Hold the line. It's easy to go.
Wah! When the battle ends, you complete the strategy if the model picked to be your general or a friendly battle line unit is wholly within enemy territory.
That's not bad, I guess.
And there's Crumple Maul. You can pick this grand strategy if your army includes Kragnos, Gobsprak, or Gordrak. When the battle ends, you complete the strategy if there are fewer than 3 enemy units on the battlefield. Again, maybe if I saw my opponent's army.
Yeah, because that guy's army could be like 20 units, right? It's like, oh gosh, I have to kill fewer than 3?
Fewer than 3.
You gotta kill
fewer than that's 2 or less.
2 or less, yeah. Huh.
So get your grand strategy. If you table your opponent, you probably won the game
Right.
by a lot of points.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Not like in grand strategies.
Yeah, the Stormcast ones are weird too. They're odd as well.
Battle tactics I dig though.
Right.
Time to get stuck in. You can pick this battle tactic in your first or second turn. Complete this tactic if the model picked to be your general and all the models in your army that are on the battlefield are within 12 of an enemy at the end of this turn. So just run forward, get close to the enemy.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely doable.
Yep.
More likely turn 2 than turn 1, but definitely doable.
That's 2 points turn 2.
Wait for lads. You pick this battle tactic only if your army has at least 24 WA points. Wait. Oh yeah, so you have to have accumulated 24 WA points. Sorry.
Right.
You complete this tactic if your army has at least 30 WA points at the end of this turn.
So
you have to start the turn with 24,
and then
you have to gain 6 more, and not have do the big wah.
That's a weird.
But the thing is
doable.
you're going to do it. You're going
Right.
to do it sometimes.
There might be a random situation.
There might not be
yeah.
a need for the extra attack. It's just like, I guarantee this. I'm going to try to get 6 more WA points.
You don't have to do much. You just have to fish for wow points. WA points.
Well, sometimes we've had games where I can't really get anything.
Yeah.
Because either I already got them,
Right.
I lost the objective, I can't get this.
Right.
I'm
But
not
he
going to
doesn't have
won.
general
I
life
want
to
the
kill,
2
right?
points. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
These to me should never be like I'm going to choose all of these every game.
Right.
That's situational. They should be.
100%. Yeah.
Squish the puny gits. Use this battle tactic only if the model picked to be your general has the Iron Jaws keyword.
Okay.
And there's at least 1 enemy battle line on the battlefield. You complete this tactic if there are no enemy battle line units on the battlefield at the end of the turn. So if you have an Iron Jaw leader, you have another chance at killing a battle line unit for 2 points.
Yep. It has to be the last one though. It has to be like exactly 1 battle line, right?
No.
If
If there's at least 1 enemy battle line unit.
But then they have to have no more battle line left at the end.
Oh, you're right.
You have to kill all their battle lines. So ideally, do when there's only 1 or 2 battle line left, and you're gonna kill them both that turn.
Yeah, that's fair. Or just the 1.
Or the 1, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kill the big gun. You can just pick this battle tactic if you're bone splitters, generals of bone splitters. Pick 1 enemy monster. You complete this tactic if that monster was slain by attacks made by a friendly bone splitters unit. So it's kill a monster with bone splitters.
Oh, wow, they love killing. That's their thing, right? They like killing monsters. Yeah.
Take that, you suckers, for Cruel Boys. You complete this tactic if the following 2 criteria are met.
Ooh.
At least 10 wounds or mortal wounds in any combination were caused by friendly units are allocated to enemy models this turn. So you need to do 10 wounds to the enemy, or mortal wounds. You have to do 10 damage to the enemy. And you have to have taken fewer than 10 wounds.
Oh, that second part. The first part, I'm like, that's doable.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to get that.
You can do that, sure. Like you attack here and there. You might have bad dice. That sucks. Yikes.
Yeah.
What's it called?
That's called Take That, you suckers. Take that, and we're the suckers. We're trying not to take more than 10 wounds.
That's obviously something like turn 5, it's like a win more one. It's like, I'm going to get my 2 points here. You got like 10 wounds
It's
left.
a win more.
It's a win more one, yeah. It's a win more one.
Destroyer of Empires, you can pick this battle tactic only if a friendly Kragnos on the battlefield. They notified friendly.
Nice.
Or specified. Pick 1 faction train feature on the battlefield that was set up by your opponent and has not been demolished. You complete this tactic if the terrain feature has been demolished this turn. So Kragnos doesn't have to do it, but your opponent has to have faction terrain. Kragnos needs to be there, and he got destroyed.
Well, he's in the book there if you want to look it up, but like, I don't know if he has a built-in rule to destroy terrain, but the monsters rampage to destroy terrain.
Well, he has something, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Kragnos is in this book now.
Yeah, Kragnos is in the book. That's cool. but the monster's rampage that destroys terrain only works on a 3-up. So as far as I know, if Kragnos...
Yeah, this is the Bellow Overaged.
Oh, he has a way to break stuff
Yeah.
too? All right, cool. All right.
We have core battalions. One of them gives you, what's it called? It's called the Crew Boys Finga? The Crew Boys Finga.
Yeah, so there's one for each clan in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
One's a crew
What does this one give you? Gives you, that's right. It gives you a command point.
Is it Magnificence?
No, Strategist.
Strategist, that's right.
Once per battle, when you receive command points at the start of your hero phase, you can receive 1 extra command point. You have the option of putting a Hobgot unit in this core battalion. Why, Games Workshop? It doesn't make sense. He doesn't have to be there. He benefits nothing.
What is
Why?
required? What is required?
It's required to have a big lord. What do we call the big lord?
Just a commander. I think it takes up the commander one in that.
So it has to have a Cruel Boys sub-commander.
Okay.
And then it has to have 2 Cruel Boys units. It has to have 2 Cruel Boys units.
It can be any
and
unit?
a Cruel Boy sub-commander.
Okay.
Well, not leader or artillery.
Oh, right.
So like 2 troops, Cruel Boy troops, and a Cruel Boy sub-commander. You can have 1 more troop and a Hobgrot. But why? It doesn't make any sense. This is confusing. I feel like I'm missing something.
Like, must you put... Are we foolish? Must you put every unit in your army in a core battalion? I don't think you do. But you could put a Hobgrot in it. Hobgrot unit.
We got a couple of Vulture characters. The models are freaking fantastic. One's a named character wizard. One's just a boss on a Vulture. The named character wizard, when he unbinds, the caster takes D3 mortal wounds. Unless he rolls a 10 plus on the unbind, it's D6 mortal wounds. I freaking love that roll.
Is that unmodified 10 plus or just 10 plus?
This is an unbinding roll with a 10 plus.
Ooh. So the rule these guys have to negate that by 1.
That's true. It would
Could
work.
interact there.
He's a lore master. He knows all the spells from the lore of the swamp.
Okay.
The bosses, we already know the stats. We see them in the, what do you call it? What's that box? Dominion?
Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion.
Dominion.
There's so many cool models. There's a swamp boss Scumdrek. Don't have the model. Haven't played with it yet.
that the guy
Can't
with the
review
troll?
it. No, that's the one that's on a Scumdrek.
What's a Scumdrek? Oh, it's the weird monster. Yeah,
Scumdrek.
You're right. The Scumdrek. I'm so sorry. You're right. My bad.
This guy.
My bad.
Because you can get the Snatcher boss on a Sludge Dracker beast. Yeah, obviously, bro.
But you want it, right? You want it.
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait to get my Marsh Crawler Slogoth. Look at it. It's just a troll all hunched over. Well, I'm sorry, not a troll. He's a Marsh
Is that
Crawler.
the troll thing? He's got
a Marsh Crawler Slogoth, but this is the one that's all hunched over. Because he's a Slogoth.
Oh yeah, my bad. He's a Slogoth.
Tons of cool. Like there's too many models to go over.
There's a
I don't
massive
know.
release. Release.
I did catch this. Orruk, Ardboys, movement 4, 2 wounds, 4 save, 5, leadership 5, 85 points for 5. They have range 1, 3 attacks now.
Instead of 2.
Hitting on 4s.
Instead of 3s. So they gained an attack, but lost a hit roll.
Right.
Which is okay.
Which is fine because the War Chanter is even more effective on them.
Right.
Because you all attack.
You could, yeah. So I was like, I guess they were afraid of all out the +1 damage hitting on 2s with all out attack.
Right, because you can get the big wall, get +1 to hit.
Yeah.
There's other ways.
There's lots of ways to do it.
So making sure they never hit on better than 3s for 3 attacks per model.
Right. That's fine. I think.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain.
What did the drummer do on them? And the banner.
So the banner adds 1 to the bravery, and the drummer adds 1 to charge rolls.
Oh, okay.
You can make that +2 charge on the Iron Jaw wall.
So it used to. So like they were wild because they used to get, for being Iron Jaws, they got +1 to charge. Their banner used to give them +2 bravery, and then the drummers gave them +2 to charge. So they had +3 to their charge roll just for having a drummer being our boys.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Now they're just +2, but that's still okay. I thought it was a little crazy before.
Well, because they're gonna think they never had Ren before, correct?
They did.
They did have Ren.
Yeah. There were 2 attacks, 3s, Ren 1 damage.
Well, that's unfortunate. They're gonna gain the Ren back under the Iron Jaw wall. That's unfortunate.
Wait, are they no Ren now?
They're no Ren.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, Ard Boys. Ooh, well, they're 85 points. Whatever. They're like super
80
cheap.
points for 5.
Yeah, that's like pretty cheap.
Yeah, so what's that, 170 for 10?
Yeah.
20 wounds, 170 points, 4 up armor save.
17. That's only 3 more points than a Mortec Guard.
32 mil base.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. The Mortec, I was going to say the Mortec Guard have like the same profile, but they have Ren on their attacks.
Yeah, I mean, Orruk Warclans, I dig this book. It's exciting. I don't know which army I want to do more, to be honest with you.
It's tough because that one's like this one here. There's obviously a lot of options with all the heroes, but because of the Great Wall, if you play Great Wall, all of a sudden that book is samey like this book because everything falls under one allegiance, right? And then you have so many options. Like, oh gosh, what do I bring? Like, how many points do I allocate? Do I even bring Hard Boys in a Great Wall? Like, what do I do?
No, okay, here. I almost don't want to bring this up, but I too late. We're there. We have no experience.
Zero.
Let's do some minor theory crafting.
Like the tiny baby.
Tiny bit of theory crafting.
Baby theory crafting.
How do you think these books are going to handle Soulblight, Deepkin, Realm Lords? Where do you think these sit? Again, this is pure speculation.
I think all around this book. If I had to say anything about this book, it's basic rules, great stats.
Yeah, I dig that.
I think it's basic rules, but great stats. It's just like
this is other than like the dirty tricks.
Yours has
the greatest of stats, but
yours has a lot more
options.
Synergy. Like not synergy. Yours is a lot more like weird gimmicky. Not gimmicky. The Maw is great.
Yeah.
The Maw Crushers are
a little
absolute
more
trucks.
player interaction.
Way more interaction.
Operator interaction.
Yes, operator interaction. Yeah. This one is just like I move my guys. I have a 3-up or a 2-up save, and I stab you for good stats.
I just feel okay. I feel like kill the general before they walk.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of like Orc. That's the Orc thing, right? Like they.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
They fall apart without the general. Like, where's the big guy leading us? I'm the big guy now. No, I'm the big guy.
I wish he would represent the rules.
I don't think they've ever really had anything like that.
It's too hard to do, but that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Like even like Warhammer Fantasy, they never had but losing the general, losing the wall. That's nice, right?
Okay, beautiful looking books. I think that's actually.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It stands out. Like for me, these look beautiful.
Like this catches the eye.
It was everything I kind of expected.
Yep.
But now it's time to talk about Path to Glory.
Yes, and again, we want to remind you, it's pretty extensive, and it gives you exactly what you'd want. And we're going to be talking about it in the MiniWarGaming Vault, so you can check that out by clicking the link down below and getting yourself a 7-day free trial if you're not a Vault member. And we're going to go into some extensive Path to Glory review and kind of the cool concepts and the cool ideas you get with these armies. And the idea of where they're going with the Path of Glory and what to expect for other Battletomes like Beasts of Chaos or like Sylvaneth. Oh. Sure, why not? Night Haunt.
I need a Beasts of Chaos Battletome Games Workshop.
It makes me a little sad because the Soulblight Gravelords came out at the tail end of 2nd edition with this new look, I might add, but without the new added stuff. But it is what it is, Whatever. Maybe there'll be homebrew rules out there that people can use. Anyways, thanks for tuning in to this double first impressions of these books. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below and join us in the vault for the Path to Glory content. Thanks again, everyone. Happy wargaming.